How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another One Piece card game video. My name is That Manga Nerd, and today we have some pretty exciting news for the One Piece card game, and that is in the form of another tournament has been announced. So that's two tournaments that have been announced now before the actual release of the cards. But this one is a pretty big tournament. So the time frame that this will be going on is from February 4th to February 25th of next year. It is a in-person tournament. It says here that it's a year-round tournament that offers players a chance to compete for special prizes, test your skills, and pre-registration is required for these events. So these are going to be bigger. These are bigger than store tournaments. These are specific across, North America, Canada, Europe, Germany, UK, Latin America, Australia. Specific stores that you have to register for and then go and play in at the actual location that wherever their store location is, or wherever this one's at a convention center. These are all convention centers, so not the actual store, but there's going to be places you have to go in order to play. So it has the dates for all these: February 4th, February 11th, and the 12th. So this is a 2-day one here, it looks like. The 25th, 18th, 4th, so it's varying depending on wherever you're situated at. So for the North American people, you got Play TCG, Pro Play Games, and Core TCG. So that's California, Florida, and Texas. So that looks like that's where we're going to have to go to play in this fairly big tournament, from what I'm guessing it's going to be. From looking at it, it's kind of like the flagship battles and also the championship qualifiers that they've had in Japan. I've talked about those events in another video, so I'm not going to go too much into how they're held here, but just the prizes and the way that this is held is kind of like those two events mashed into one. But you are going to have to register for these events. This isn't like store tournaments where you can show up the day of and then register, or just walk up and play. If there's not a lot of people playing, or if there's a couple open spots, you will have to register for this ahead of time. As of right now, there's currently no links, but if in a future video they have the links up, I'll probably throw them in a video just so people can check them out. But these are the dates for the tournaments. I would suggest not booking anything until you're actually registered, because it would suck if you really want to go to the Miami, Florida one, but you buy a bunch of stuff and then you don't get in the registration. So that would definitely suck. So definitely be on a lookout for those links, and I'm pretty sure each of these events will send out an announcement saying, hey, registration's open, yada yada. And it doesn't have a set number of how many people will be in the event, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a massive amount, I feel. So especially with this one being a 2-day event, I feel like that's going to be a lot of people at this one. But more information will come. But stuff that we have right now, it's singles constructed. The qualifying matches will be best of 1 with 35-minute matches and 5 minutes of overtime. So that's normal for what best of 1 is. But then there's a top cut for best of 3. So it's 60 minutes matches and 10 minutes of extra time. So not sure if it's going to be if it's best of 3. It's probably going to be 60. So you have an hour to play 2 games or 3 games, and then 10. So you have an hour and 10 minutes to get through 3 games total. Obviously, if you win 2 in a row, then you don't have to worry about that. But so top cut will be best of 3. But in order to get to the top cut, it will just be best of 1. I'd almost kind of feel better if it was just the whole thing was best of 1, because just from the amount of people, so it's going to be a long day for these ones that are, this one's February 4th and the 25th. This one's 2 days. So they'll probably have qualifiers on the 11th, and then like the top cut people will come back on the 12th and then play. But this one you play it all, which is just seems crazy, but that's what they decided on, so that's what we'll have to do. The application period will be somewhere in the middle of December, so after the card game comes out, we'll probably look at, just the middle of December. And it says registration varies by tournament organizers, so you have to register for the specific tournament through. It won't be through Bandai. The Bandai TCG Plus app won't be through there. It'll just be through whatever the tournament people decide. So keep an eye out on social media and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we will be posting it everywhere, but I'll definitely be posting it as well. So now we get into the thing that everyone cares about, especially me. What you get for going and playing in these tournaments. So there's 2 copies of the event pack, which we'll get to, which this one was a pretty big surprise, what the actual contents of this was. Dawn sleeves, there will probably be 10 Dawn sleeves like there was for the participation for the online tournaments that we had. Top 128, so I would probably guess it's going to be 256 people. If there's a top 128, probably double that, and then there'd be one game through, or one round, and then losers and 128, yada yada yada, all that stuff. So we're looking at 256 people per tournament. That's a lot. So top 128 will get another event pack, so that's 3 copies of the event pack. Then if you're able to make it to top 64, you get the Chopper Alt, another event pack, and a storage box. Top 32, another event pack. So if you're able to make it to top 32, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you got 5 copies of the event pack. Top 16 gets an Altar Usopp, which is just the starter deck. I think that was, no, it's pretty sure that's not. I don't know why they have it classified as the starter deck Usopp, because I'm pretty sure it's not starter deck Usopp, so they messed up there. But top 8 gets a serial number Luffy card. Okay. Zoro Altart, I don't know why they say starter deck Zoro. I'm pretty sure it's not. Second place gets a second place playmat, then champion playmat, 4 copies of event pack, and then a booster box of OP01. So if you wind up winning, you're going to have 9 copies of the event pack. And then also, this goes without saying, but if you make it to top 8, you get the Zoro, Usopp. You get everything below, just in case someone was confused. But top 8 being the serial number Luffy card. So this one isn't going to be a very high. It's going to be a random serial number Luffy card. So this isn't the big championship, or this is kind of like the flagship battle, like I had said earlier, where the flagship battles is they just have specific stores across Japan, and if you win, you get a random number Luffy card, and then a Chopper promo, I believe. But the champion of it all gets a booster box of it. That's pretty, that's what I guess technically MSRP value is only like $70, $80, but with the aftermarket, that's like $100 value, more than likely, because I'm pretty sure this is in February, and they might have a second wave printed, but definitely this is probably worth it. If you wind up winning, be worth it. So then we have, yep, they definitely screwed up here. So this is actually the Usopp from the first set that is released. It's OP01, where you draw 1 card when your opponent activates an event if he has 1 Dawn on him and it's your turn. So if they activate a counter, and he's a 2K counter, 2/3. So this is actually, they messed up here. That's why that's weird. But this one is the starter deck Chopper, where it's just the blocker, 1/1 blocker. And then we have, it was a starter deck Zoro, where he has 1 Dawn on him and he gains an additional 1,000, so he's a 3/7 if you have 1 Dawn on him. A serial number Luffy card, which we've seen a bunch of times now. And then one of the biggest surprises is the event pack, volume 1. Now these cards were pretty much just announced for the Japanese in-store tournament, some in-store tournament in Japan. I can't remember if it was a standard battle or a flagship battle, but these were just announced for the December set of tournaments, I believe, in Japan. So this was a fairly big surprise, but we can go ahead and look at them here. So promo 28, you have a 5/6 ace, which is a double attack, so a little bit more of a threat than the promo Eustace Kid from the promo pack. Then we have a 2/3 Bartolomeo. He's a 1,000 counter. End of your turn, you can rest him. Set up to one of your film type characters other than Barto is active. So a cheap restand for end of turn for green. If that's 1,000 counter, so not necessarily dead in hand, and it doesn't have a cost limit for the restand. So if you have a very high cost film on the field and you don't want to lose them, then you can restand them. So that's pretty cool. Film Supernova, Barto Club. What was Whitebeard Pirates for Ace? Okay. Then you got Jimbei, Fisherman, 7 Warlords of the Sea, Sun Pirates, 4/5, 1,000 counter on KO. Place up to one character with a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Just a card that you can put out on play, and then he can be kept there, and he's kind of like, he can swing at leader every single turn, and if your opponent decides to take him out, then they're going to lose a card that's 3 or less, or they can always take him out when they don't have a 3 or less on the field. But who knows, they might mess up and they might lose a blocker near the end of their turn if they do misplay. But pretty good card. Then you got Uto, a film, 5/6 on play. Add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So just purple solidifying that they're, a ramp. You want cards to play down Dawn, and then so you can play stronger cards that get rid of Dawn. And then finally we have a 5/6 Sengoku, Dawn ×1. Your turn, give all your opponents cost -2. So that's pretty interesting, including having the black card in the set here, because the starter deck, the black starter deck actually isn't scheduled to release until March when the second set is released. So we either might be getting the black deck earlier than what was originally announced, or we'll just have a black card before the actual game comes out. So the meta will be completely different for the English version of the game, just from them releasing this pack that was literally just announced, I think, a couple weeks ago for the Japanese market. So we'll be getting a bunch of stuff earlier than we probably will. Now, the playmats are still being designed for the championship in the first place. We'll just have to wait and see on that. And then the Dawn sleeves, which we've seen before, and then the storage box, which we got from the online tournaments that they've had. There's a thing called side events to be announced soon. So in Japan, they had side events for the qualifiers for the championship, and this was something you could go to if you lost fairly early in the run of the event, and you could go and play in this and get some other products and prizes for playing. So who knows, it might be because you have the participation, you get 2 of the volume packs. Maybe in the side event, they'll have it where you can get 2 more copies of the event pack. So you can have a full play set of the cards, which would be pretty cool. Or they could have another pack that you have to go play in the side event. So that looks like that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more One Piece content. I'll be trying to, as soon as something comes out, I'll be trying to get a video out on this so you guys can all find out about it. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.